we click on Glenn Beck's videos and we look at his like sort of Burl Ives Alex Jones character that he does, and it's all end of the world, and stock up on beans and pancake batter and hide in your take an old kerosene tank and hide it buried underground and use the hatch as a way to get in and out of it, and do one ventilation hole, but it's not even really necessary. Stack it up with dirty magazines and beans and fart yourself into oblivion. Whatever his plan for the end times is. We often will joke about what Glenn Beck action figure he is each time. We've got Cowboy, we've got Fisher Price Man, we've got KFC, we've got Snow Cop. Well, there's all kinds of, like, he's like a paper doll. This one, I'm gonna go with homemade firework maker Glenn Beck post visit to the emergency room. I don't know what he's doing. I hope he doesn't have some sort of skin disease, and that's why he has to wear these things. He's always a mess. He eats like shit. He doesn't take care of himself. But it's like cowboy bomb maker. Like, every time I make one of these things, it blows up in my fucking face. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it's cold in the garage where his family keeps him. And this is cowboy bedroom isolation Glenn Beck. This is where he, like, this is his part of the garage at his home that they've turned into this satellite studio, completely made up, by the way. This is not like, if you guys watch my morning show, for example, you see the back wall in my room. That's in the sort of basement TV area. It's like a finished basement kind of a thing. And it's just I've got a wall of posters and some cabinets. That's real. I try to make it look nice because it's behind me in something, and I don't want to be too harshly judged by room raiders, but it's real. Like, all the stuff is stuff I actually like. All this shit looks like, to quote Jiminy Glick, like a Canadian pretending to be an American. It's like he went to the store that, like, the Russians and the Americans went to fill their house with stuff to make it look lived in. Here we are. I am Sam and this is Debbie. And we have lived in America since we were born in this place. And we also like Coca-Cola, also sport and skiing. And we do American thing. One of our favorite things about being born and bred Americans is throw blanket from quilting shop at side of road on our way to Tucson. Yeah, it's a home goods display. This is so fucked up. Queasy writer. I don't know what's happening in this, but this is another one of his, like, they're coming for you. They can't get you guns so the White House targets, interesting choice of word, ammunition sales with insidious plan. I'm gonna guess this has to do with the inability to buy Russian ammunition in the United States. That the whole Ukraine war, that's bullshit. All the sanctions in the world has nothing to do with the fact that Putin's sending Chechen rape squads over to mutilate the genitals of children and bury them alive. No, it's not about that. It's not Americans giving a fuck about being a stopgap between authoritarianism and democracy. It's not that we're supporting a sovereign country that's trying to fight back. It's not that. It's that this is all an end run around the Second Amendment so we can stop all those sweet, sweet Russian bullets from getting in the fucking country. What do you think? He's in a Hobby Lobby. He does weekends there. Okay, so let's see.
Last week in the Federalist, and we saw it, and we began to do our own homework on it.
Okay, so basically he's going to quote a article and pretend he did more. Also, those glasses are for a child. Those are novelty glasses. Those I've seen those at Party City. Those are actually straws. You can drink through them. That's absurd. I never said I was more important than Glenn Beck, just that I was more well known. All right. So he read an article, and now he's going to pretend to know more about the article. This is another big Glenn Beck thing.
Because it was very, very...
He's fucking sick again. Listen to his nose. Is this guy ever well? Jesus Christ, dude. Are you ever not contagious? Stop with the sugar. Why is this a Glenn Beck intervention every fucking time I do a clip from his show? Your immune system is shit, dude. It's all the Sonics. Stop eating like stew. You're both going to die.
Disturbing. And
yeah, you think that's disturbing? Try watching these clips.
It came out of the Federalist. While Democrats claim to...
Yes, you said that already, but then, of course, your brain is failing because you are having a sugar attack.
...engage in talks on bipartisan gun legislation in good faith, the White House is behind the scenes trying to shut down nationwide ammunition sales.
Trying to shut down nationwide ammunition sales. Shutting it down. You can't even buy a bullet. You're just going to get shell casings, and you're going to have to fill them with butter.
In northwestern Missouri, major...
What difference does it make?
Government-owned ammunition plant is now facing closure as the Biden administration escalates its war on American gun owners.
Okay, so the plant, private company, makes ammunition. It's an attack on American gun owners. Why is it shutting down?
The Lake City Ammunition Factory is one of the largest manufacturers of 5.56 and 2.23 ammunition.
That's 5.56 is what you got in your AR-15s. Hold on one second. Let's see. What was it? What was the name of that dump? Hold on. Say it again. Whoops, quit.
Manufacturers of the Lake City Ammunition Factory.
The Lake City. Let's check it out because I'm sure Lake City Ammunition Factory, which I'm sure is it's an Independence, Missouri. Graves slams Biden administration after forced layoffs at the Lake City Ammunition Plant. White House won't deny plans to halt future excess ammo sales from plant. Here's the three top stories on this. Wait, you'll enjoy this. Here's the top three. KTTN. Graves slams Biden administration effort to force layoffs at the Lake City Army ammunition plant. Force layoffs. How would they do that? Well, why would you? Well, obviously because less ammunition is being sold, so that would mean they would lay off workers. White House won't deny plans to halt future excess ammo sales from plant. That's curious. That seems to be the article that Glenn Beck is citing. Excess ammo sales. Where can you sell it to? Do they sell it to Russia? Is that what we're doing? They can't sell it to the Congo or something? They won't let you dump it in Mexico? Is that like they're going to put stringent things on, like you can't sell weapons and ammunition? Like you can't on the cheap? All right. White House denies it forced ammunition plant to halt sales to civilians. Okay. So, three sides of the coin to choose from. Three sides of the coin, they are mine. All right. We'll open up this guy and take a look at it in a minute. I have no doubt. And then, let's see, the forced layoffs thing, we know it's going to reference the same thing, but we'll look at both of these in a moment. Let's see where Glenn takes it. And, now, is the Lake City Ammunition Plant a private company? No. It's a government-owned, contractor-operated facility in northeastern Independence, Missouri that was established by Remington Arms in 1941 to manufacture and test small-caliber ammunition for the U.S. Army. It provides ammunition for the military, and then it sells excess stuff on the market. And the idea is that they're going to curtail that, or they're going to lower the output of it and stop ordering so much so they don't have too much. They've got plenty, so they've got stockpiled bullets, and it's not like eggs, they don't go bad.
is one of the largest manufacturers of 5.56 and 2.23 ammunition.
223 was, by the way, my prefix for my phone number when I was growing up as a kid in Kentucky. Just saying. Which is very appropriate considering it's also an ammo.
Which is the most popular caliber for the most targeted firearm in the country, the AR-15.
No pun intended.
In operation since 1941 to produce ammunition for the U.S. Army.
Oh, I'm sorry. They do what? Sorry? They do what? So it's a government-owned and operated facility, or it's government-owned facility. It's operated by contractors who fulfill government contracts.
Government contracts.
Yeah, when is Boeing going to overbuild airplanes so that I can just buy one at an airplane store in Burbank?
With the private firm Winchester to run the enterprise and sell any excess supplies to the open market.
Mm-hmm. The open market.
So here's what...
Yes. By the way, you're right for your ears to perk up around Fast and Furious and the like. What happened to all of Glenn's monitors in the background? He's in quarantine in his childhood bedroom. The monitors are in the other studio. They will cut to that, and Stu and whoever the other guys will be in that room. But since Glenn is sick and everybody else there has the same shitty diet and poor immune system that he has, he's staying away from them.
Winchester called them, the government called Winchester, apparently,
because the government is solely responsible for the contracts that keep the entire factory open. See, there's no overage of ammunition if the government doesn't buy it in the first place, and the price of ammunition is extraordinary if that place doesn't exist and sell the leftovers cheaper than you would have to buy it if a private ammunition maker had to go through the process and, of course, insure themselves and do all the stuff that's involved, because if a round goes bad and blows somebody's fucking thumb off or sends a chunk of metal into their eye or doesn't work, and then they're not able to kill someone and then they're wounded, they could sue the the bullet manufacturer for faulty merchandise. Unlike guns, you can sue over ammunition insofar as I know.
Allegedly, and said,
"Oh, okay, so it's not true." They called the government called Winchester. Or well, I got news for you. They call them all the fucking time because Winchester works for the government.
Oh
my God. We're doing gangster comedy with a head cold.
You got a cute little business going on here.
No, you've got a government business going on there. You are a contractor who only exists because your primary client always buys.
And it'd be horrible for something to happen to that business, That's
just stupid. Like, yeah, they're going to burn down the Army's main bullet supplier.
What I'm saying?
No, nobody knows what you're saying. You dipshit.
So what I'd like you to do is maybe stop selling the 30% of the ammunition to the private market. And Winchester said, most likely, well, if we do that, then if there's a war, we can't ramp up to be able to make more ammunition.
Why? Of course you can.
For the war machine. I don't think you heard me. You're going to stop selling that ammunition. Now, celebrity voices are impersonated.
What celebrity would that be? I don't even know what that voice was.
In this scenario. But I think that's pretty much...
Oh, it's good. By the way, I would like to remind everyone that often I will have tech envy of Glenn Beck's setup. Not today, however. This is the shot of Glenn Beck in his childhood garage playroom, going to his studio during his show, because I guess he was complaining recently that he had bought his solar system isn't up to task for his off the grid compound that he's building for his whatever David Koresh thing that he's running, and this is what you get. Meanwhile, this morning I had Philip Ittner on from Ukraine. We had a couple of hitches, but nothing this bad. At no point was Philip. I think that's a motorboating icon, if I'm not mistaken. Was he replaced with the motorboating icon? Sorry, if you're top down, never mind.
What happened there? Otherwise, maybe we find somebody else to make our ammunition, you know?
Yeah, we're the biggest bullet purchasing contract in the world, and also it's our factory.
What I'm saying?
Jesus Christ, this is tired.
So public-private partnerships always work out so very well.
They have up till now, fucko. You haven't complained till today. This has been around since 1945, you prick. This system, you had no complaints during World War II. All right.
So we started
the worst Dick York impression I've ever seen heard from Glenn Beck. Is that what that was?
Doing our homework. It looked.
Oh, finally. Have you done any on insulin resistance and the damage that large quantities of sugar, specifically in sodas, do to the immune system? In your homework, Glenn. Look, man, I don't like you at all. I've met you. You're kind of a dick, but none of us want you to die. I'd rather continue to make fun of you. Quit. Get your shit together, dude.
Looks like Susan Rice was involved in this. But again, nobody's talking because they're all afraid of their legs being broken.
What? They're all afraid of their legs being broken. Oh, I get it. So the Federalist can make up a story, and if nobody either comments on it or bothers to answer some bullshit Federalist story, that means there's a big gangster thing that the Biden administration, specifically Biden, because it's the Biden crime family idea, is threatening to burn down the Army's ammunition factory if they sell the 30%, if they basically have cut back their order is what it is. And by cutting back the order, it raises the price of private ammunition for 5.56 in particular.
One group that we have spoken,
I know, like,
knows the situation very well, is the National Shooting Sports Foundation.
The National Shooting Sports Foundation. I would work on that, guys. The NISP. Whew.
And we have Larry Keane on with us.
What? How'd you get Larry Keane? What a get from the National Sports Shooting Foundation.
Hello, Larry.
The sniff or whatever it is.
How are you?
Good to be with you, Glenn. How are you?
Oh, it's good to see you, Glenn. It's nice to be on here when I sound like a voice you do when you're trying to be funny. That I'm gonna go with that. He's laughing at him because that voice is hilarious. I'm gonna go with that's an old picture, or he's just got a really old voice.
Very good, very good. So, I know it wasn't quite as mob-like. Perhaps with Susan Rice involved, maybe it was more. But can you tell me, is the gist of what I just said correct?
Oh, of course it is. Yeah, it's even worse than that. They actually came down and broke people's knees.
Basically, yes.
Basically. Great. Oh, thanks. Much better shot, guys. Thank you. Now we can get a better view of the completely unused environment where and this is the area where he pretends to paint. We gotta dress this up because nobody even believes, like, nobody's ever even sat on that couch.
Winchester.
Believe me, if anybody that is at Glenn Beck's compound had sat on that couch, you would know.
Was contacted by the Army that runs or owns the Lake City ammunition facility.
Okay, the Army runs or owns. They own it. Contractors run it, just like Boeing, kind of a thing. They make orders. The factory creates a certain kind of ammunition. What do you think we're going to find out that the Army's shifting away from 5.56 and 2.23 for one of their other rifles, and it has more to do with that? What do you think? Wait, hold on. Most used ammunition, my U.S. Army Defense XP. 762. Maybe later. Okay. Okay. So on the list of here's the top 5 most used ammunitions in the world. Look at this. Look at this. It's like a family portrait of hate and death and destruction. I'm going to go with, I will say for the record, that, let me junk this down here real quick and move this out of the way. That looks like a sex toy. I'm just going to say the one right over, the one right there, that looks like a lipstick. Look at the glow in the dark one back there. These are probably, and these are compressed shotgun pellets and yada, yada. Okay. And, biggest to smallest, that kind of thing. Number 1, the 9x19 millimeter Parabellum. That's your 9 millimeter. It's going to show up in your Glocks and other items of this. They're going to use a lot more of that in your handgun situation. You're going to do a lot more practice with a handgun to make that, more effective targeting. It's not built for total accuracy. It's more like a bludgeon, that kind of thing. You're going to see that in a lot of cop and military and civilian handguns. That's the most popular. Second, there is the 7.62 9mm. That's the Russian, or the 30 Russian short round. That's for the Kalashnikov. Worldwide, that's the one you're going to find in the bodies of refugees and fleeing women and children more than any other bullet. That's the one. If you're a UN, Council on Human Rights investigator, and you're coming across some corpses, this is what they're going to have in them. Lots of those. Here's your 5.56. That's the next round there. Rimless, you wish. Bottleneck intermediate cartridge family is widely used worldwide as an assault rifle ammunition. Well, that's interesting. It's even classified as assault rifle ammunition. Fantastic. Let's see. And it was originally derived from the 223 Remington cartridge designed by Remington Arms in the early 1960s for the experimental AR-15 type rifles when they were in the development phase. That's basically a larger version of the 223, about double the size there. Yeah. There's your 7.62. That's another one. It's about the size of a AA battery there, I guess exit wounds not included. That's for your M14 and your M60. And then over here, your 338 Lapua Magnum. Look at those things. Those are rimless bottleneck center fire rifle cartridge designed as an accurate sniper rifle. That looks like it's got that uranium tip there to make you sterile. Got to keep them in a box like that. I don't know why I'm talking like a Chicago mechanic, but it's the only way I can keep from going fucking nuts.
That Winchester runs under a contract.
Yes, this is a contracted factory. They have other factories. Let's see. Let's go. Winchester Ammunition Factories. Let's see. Is Winchester, okay, about Winchester, let's look at these. Facilities. Let's see if Glenn is completely and blazingly full of shit. Well, let's see, our primary manufacturing facility, let me shrink this down for you. Whoop. Let me see if I can get this over here. There you go. Our primary, they did their homework though, so I don't know why I have to do this. There you go. Independence, Missouri. This is the one, this is the Lake City. This is the one that they're not going, this is the single largest producer of small arms ammunition for the U.S. Armed Forces. For the U.S. Armed Forces. For the U.S. Armed Forces. The United States Armed Forces. For. See the word for? That's what it's for. That is a government factory for military small arms cartridges, including 5.56, 7.62, and 50 caliber bullets. But not limited to that. They also make 9mm and they also make 223s, according to Glenn Beck. Oxford, our primary military manufacturing facility, this state-of-the-art facility, this is in Oxford, Mississippi, produced ammunition for hunters, sport shooters, military, law enforcement, industrial uses since October 2011. This is the one that it's open market. Yeah, they make stuff for the military, but it's not fully under contract, apparently. It's their primary military manufacturing facility, but they also produce for civilians. If you'll notice, this one does not say they also do this. There's a distinction that Winchester is making between this facility in Independence, Missouri, and the Oxford one. The Oxford has produced, our primary, this state of the art facility has produced ammunition for hunters, sport shooters, military, law enforcement. They do that too, okay? There's an East Alton, Illinois one, Winchester Ammunition World Headquarters and manufacturing facility are located in East Alton, Illinois. Winchester was built and supplied billions of rounds and ammunition to this since the 1900s, the oldest one in the country. They make shotgun shells and 8-gauge industrial shot shells and ammunition components. That's the kind they put in slaughterhouses to make the compression hammer kill the cows. Yeah, that's part of that. Ammunition components, including primers and lead shot. So this is the old stuff. You can probably get musket balls if you order them early in the season. 3 primary ones. One of them, 100% military, apparently sells its overages. The one in Mississippi sells them, makes both.
And they were told that the Army is...
Hal is a legend in his own mind. Yeah, it's true.
Considering issuing a policy edict in which Winchester...
is considering issuing a policy edict. Okay, so the whole mafia call didn't fucking happen yet?
Would no longer be able to sell into the commercial market excess ammunition above the needs of the military to the commercial market, which accounts for between 30 and 40% of the market for 5.56.
Oh, I see. So let me be abundantly clear what's going on here. Glenn Beck is upset that you can no longer buy, wait for it, Socialist ammo. Yeah, that's the problem. Glenn Beck is upset that the government will no longer subsidize the cost of ammunition for private citizens of any ilk out of one factory. That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, Glenn Beck is very upset that he won't be able, and other people like him, will not be able to get their hands on Socialist ammo. That's right. And if Glenn Beck had his way, the government, because of the Second Amendment and the not infringing of the infringing, the government would not only let you buy whatever guns you want, it would provide you with whatever gun you want. You could 3D print it, and then the government would be forced to make any kind of ammo that you could buy. The ammo is socialist. It is government ammunition subsidized by the government. The only reason this ammo is cheaper and is available on the market and lowers the price of ammunition across the board is because it's a part of a government overage. It is the taxpayer pays for the entire production that is so efficient, not even the military needs this many bullets. So they sell the overage on the market, and that excess ammunition, that 30 to 40% he's talking about, enters the market and artificially lowers the cost of ammunition, by the way, destroying the profit margin of independent mom and pop bullet manufacturers because of big government spending. I mean, think about what this asshole is asking for. His complaint is that the government, it's government ammo. That's right. The government is not going to be providing them with cheap ammunition that depresses the price of the cost of ammunition, much to the chagrin, I guess, of private ammunition manufacturers. If you wanted to go into the business of making bullets in the United States, your biggest competitor is the United States government. Try starting a business, go to a bank, get a loan for a business where your biggest competitor that dumps 40% of whatever product you make on it. You want to start a new electric car company, but the government has created electric car factories and they flood the market with almost 50% of the available ones, and they all work fine. As a matter of fact, they're tried and true. They've been around since 1945, these particular electric cars. They're all over the place. And you go to the bank and you're like, I think I can sell my electric cars for $60,000. And the guy at the bank says, you do realize that nobody can sell one for over $30,000 because the government makes electric cars and they just dump them onto the market. And you go home demoralized and sad to run yourself over with your electric car. If I'm going to belabor this analogy to death. And Glenn Beck is arguing that his rights as an electric car user are being denied because the government isn't going, might stop making electric cars so that other people have to pay full price for electric cars so electric car makers can make more money, I suppose. For fuck's sake, make ammo government again? Totally. Well, some people are saying it's communism. It would be communism if you had to go and work at the gun factory the bullet factory to get your bullets, and you get a bowl of bullets, and you go, "Can I have more, please?" But in this particular case, because they sell them after the fact, and it's literally a government plant that sells the overage. That would be socialist because they own it, right? The government basically owns 100% of the contract. So I don't even know if this asshole realizes what he's asking for. If healthcare were bullets, this is Glenn Beck complaining about Medicare for all or Medicaid and Medicare.
Ammunition, which is the caliber most commonly chambered for
school shootings and workplace shootings and feral hogs.
Modern sporting rifles.
Modern sporting rifles. Well, guess what, asshole? What's so sporting about a modern rifle? You want it to be sporting? Do what I do. Get a muzzleloader, fucko.
Including the AR-15. So it would have
a sporting rifle, sporting rifles. It's like flip-flops with socks on, wearing your hat on backwards and going to NASCAR and a gun. They're all sporting.
Devastating effect.
So how's it going, sport?
On the commercial market for gun owners, as well as to harm national security and military preparedness.
Yeah, that's they're going to hide behind that. We're harming national security and military preparedness by not selling those overages. Maybe, just maybe, the government is recognizing that for at least the next couple of years, we won't be able. We're constantly going to be printing as much ammo as we have. There's not going to be an overage, and if there is, it's going to Ukraine. The government's just going to take it off your hands. You're not selling the overage. You're going to cut back production to what we actually need, and we're going to manage that instead of pumping bullets into our system and making. And one of the reasons why it's gotten so sporting and so fucking cheap, and why you can dick around with these things, even though every single one of those things can take a human life, and you should take it more seriously. But these assholes can go down there and just frap all day long like it's golf.
So there's a couple of things here.
First of all, why isn't the government giving me bullets? The people must rise up. The proletariat needs bullets.
Well, let's talk about the commercial side.
Yes, let's do that.
The commercial side
is that a government factory that is built for military use and has been for military use for decades has no other primary responsibility. If there's leftovers and the government decides to sell it, they can. But anyone in the private industry that wants to build and wants to make 5.56 or 2.23 or whatever can get at it. Peckerwood, go for it.
You drop 30 to 40%. Your price, I've read, your price of ammunition would go up 3 to 4 times.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Obviously, economics being supply and demand. If you cut the supply,
Yeah, we can't cut demand because you fuckers are lunatics.
it is already strained by 30+%. It's going to have a significant impact on the price in the commercial market.
Yeah, it'll take it from the toy cost range to the adult cost range, where you might actually have to, you might even consider it, and this might shock some people, a serious purchase.
For sure. It's also going to have an impact on what the military pays for ammunition manufactured at the Lake City facility.
Why?
Because the cost, the economics of running that business for Winchester would change dramatically.
No, it would not. The government has a contract for how much it purchases that ammunition for. That excess ammunition doesn't actually even exist without the government orders. The Winchester facility, it might mess with their profit margin, but it's not going to make them unprofitable. And if they want to, if they think there's a market for that excess 30 to 40% of ammunition that doesn't go out there, if they think there's really a place for it, build a fucking plant. Knock yourself out. Nothing's stopping you, Winchester. Form a separate facility that's not government owned. Go buy some. Go to Indiana. Go to Texas. There are umpteen empty factories that are sitting idle where people need jobs. Right? Go fix it. Come on, American know-how.
So the other part of this is for the military, not just in cost, but the reason why, if I'm not mistaken, the reason why Winchester has that 30% and they make 30 or 40% of the commercial market
is because the U.S. government orders so much and the efficiency is so high that the plant is too productive for the needs of the market being the U.S. military.
Is so they have the staff in case there's ever a major war. They have the staff. They don't have to ramp up. They can just shift all of that over to the military.
Okay, if there's ever a major war, we're not, more often than not, we are not sending in troops. We're a first world country. We are, we literally have Space Force now. We have hypersonic missiles and artillery systems. There's going to be very little like troops in combat fighting each other. Period. And when it comes to they're not, and if they do, they're not going to be shooting 5.56. They are not going to be carrying around AR-15s.
Military immediately, so we have enough ammunition to be.
Yeah. Just in case the Chinese start up with us, after we get to the edge of nuclear war and we have battleships and that kind of thing. We're gonna just send U.S. soldiers to storm the beach in Tianjin or in Shanghai.
Be able to fight a war. Is that
no
true?
That's precisely correct. And if they can't sell into the commercial market, those employees are gone. That production capacity is gone, and
they don't need the production capacity. It's a government facility that consistently overproduces 30% all the time. You don't think they're storing up? You don't think we have a fucking mountain stacked with unused rounds? Jesus Christ. Even if they if they cut production 50, and this is again a whisper campaign. This is the Federalists just spooking people. But if you're going to you cut it 15% and we'll buy the overage for the next 10 years. We've got the budget for it. You're not sending, we got a contract for this amount. Any overage, we're buying it because we might need it. We're going to give it to Ukraine. We're going to give it to, we'll sneak it to the Georgians and the Chechens and the Kazakhstanis. How about that?
in a surge situation. Let's
In a surge situation. Oh, you mean like in Afghanistan? Oh, we're not in Afghanistan anymore. Damn it. Lost that contract. Shit.
say hypothetically we were engaged in a shooting war with an adversary like Russia, China, or something.
Yeah. Yes, there would not be enough bullets in America if they attacked right now. That's what you want me to believe? That we wouldn't be able to ramp up production? By the way, how long from the phone call does everybody in the area who can operate any kind of factory equipment, if Russia or China attacks us and we get into a hot war or paratroopers land on the ground, first of all, we're not going to run out of bullets for 3 fucking years. But how long from the phone call, they wouldn't even hang the goddamn phone up before they were running to the factory to help make bullets to kill foreigners. Where these places are, you're shitting me, right? Jerry, hey, man, it's Sam. I know you got that job down at the car wash now because we shut down production on there. We just didn't have a call for it. But the Chinese have invaded, and they're airdrop. Hello, we need you to come down here. Hello, Charlie. He hung up. Oh, Charlie, shit, that was quick, man. I didn't even hear you hang up. Hello? That's funny. 3 miles. You ran it the whole way. All right, thanks, man. What a patriot. Hey, can you get on machine number 10? Oh, he's already on it. Cling, 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 cling. Fucker's already making 556. Look at that.
The ability of Winchester to meet that surge in demand would not exist. It would
Bullshit. Yeah, we have a Defense Production Authorization Act. We're not going to run out of bullets, dum-dum.
not be able to meet that need, whereas now they can. They can simply shift.
They overmeet that need. As a matter of fact, more Americans are killing Americans than anybody who might invade us. So one of the ways we're sort of attacking on that front, if you will, is disarming the forces of evil that are on our own streets.
That production from the commercial market to the priority of meeting the needs of the warfighter. So that ability is gone.
No, it is not.
Then we can't.
Bullshit. By the way, this asshole is just worried that if the price of ammunition goes up, the cost of being a member of the NSFF or the NRA goes down too, because you're not going to want to pay to be part of these dumbass organizations if the membership a year costs more than how much ammo you spend at one trip to the range.
Meets surge in demands, and the price that the military pays for the ammunition they get now, even in a non-surge situation, would go up considerably. And
if we were attacked, the DPA would cover that. Who fucking cares? Nobody believes that. Good Lord.
To the commercial market also helps to fund capital expenditures at the lake.
Yes, at hospitals and funeral homes and
city facility. So it's not just that Winchester sells that ammunition in the commercial market. They also are putting money back into the DOD for capital improvements, capital expenditures at Lake City, so that it is.
Yeah, but you guys don't give a fuck about what about the carrier plant? Maybe those guys can go work at the carrier plant? Oh no, how about I know all those guys that get laid off from this bullet manufacturing plant can go work at Foxconn and. Oh no, that's not happening. Okay.
State of the art and can meet surge demands for the military.
Okay, also gibberish.
So, as this was revealed last week,
it was revealed in an article put out by those who would warn us of the impending danger, the time, the Federalist, the very people who choose Donald Trump's candidates for look at this. Look how it's got wood on it. Like it's this is just that's an old-timey weapon, man. This is basically a muzzleloader with just a new trigger system in there. Basically, I just I'll pull the stick off down there, get a little bit of wad, throw that down there. Come on. Put a little shot in there, just bite that, spit that sucker in there, shucker. That's a move I know well. Patow. There you go. Last week, the Federalist reported that the White House is preparing to shut down the Lake City ammo plant in northwestern Missouri. That's not true, but we reported it anyways. The White House refused to deny plans to restrict ammunition supplies from one of the targeted firearms in the nation, the AR-15. Last week, the Federalist reported the White House was preparing to shut down the Lake City ammo plant, northwestern Missouri, owned by the federal government but operated by Winchester, a private firm. Opened in 1941 to manufacture weapons for the U.S. Army, the government allows the sale of socialist ammunition on the open market. The factory is one of the largest producers of M855 SS-109 ammo. I'm sorry if I chub while I read these. The most popular caliber for the AR-15. The plant also sells XM855 and XM193 ammunition and is responsible for more than 30% of the nation's 5.56 ammo, baby. Mark Oliver, a spokesman for the National Shooting Sports Department, told the same guy that was on, the homework that they did on Glenn Beck's show was to get this guy's name from the article and call him. Told the Federalist, so Winchester was informed that the government is considering restricting the manufacturing and commercial sale of legal ammunition produced at the Lake City, Missouri facility. The news led 50 House members to send a letter to the Biden administration over the president's impeding decision to curb operations. We urge you to immediately end consideration of this action, they wrote, which we view as a backdoor attempt, attempt to bypass Congress and ban legal and highly popular commercial ammunition, certain semi-automatic rifles used by law-abiding Americans across the country. White House Deputy Press Secretary Andrew Bates disputed the potential of government closure in Monday tweet, but left the door open to halt open market sales. We will not let this plant close. Bates tweeted before adding, emphasis is ours, the administration is not going to restrict production sales of excess ammunition currently available for the sale to the public, including 855 SS-109 sales. But don't let that stop you from getting on Glenn Beck's show telling a horror story, man. They're going to get you. They're going to take away your guns, and they're going to give it back to you empty, and you're just going to be running around yelling, pew, pew, pew. Andrew Bates, this story isn't true. We will not let this plant close. Administration is not going to restrict production sales of excess ammunition currently available for sale to the public. Currently. That's a trick word right there, currently. What happens when they run out? White House spokesman only committed to a green light for sales of ammunition currently available as the administration presumed to proceeds for plans for future restrictions. They're going to take your guns from the inside. They're going to crawl up in your chamber. They're going to wiggle on your trigger. They're going to take away your pew-pew. You're going to be standing there with an empty black straw with a stock on it, wondering what happened to your America. A prohibition of excess sales down the pipeline, Oliver told the Federalist, would place 400 to 500 jobs in immediate jeopardy, reduce available ammunition in the market. So I don't want y'all to think this is a made-up story or nothing, but it's what we call it around these parts a big fat pile of hornswoggle.
We had some congressmen start to write some.
They start writing some letters.
Write some letters to.
Oh my God, Jesus! Like we can read this article, and it's basically the script for Glenn's segment.
The White House.
Hey man, they're gonna take away your pew pew.
Some press started to.
Some people started to write some letters, and some press started to say some things. And this is hard hitting. This is cutting edge. Jesus. Hal, you should be a lobbyist. That's what I am. It's a very strongly worded letters.
Sniff around at least.
Jesus Christ.
They're going to do some writing and some sniffing. It's damn frightening, man. Come on.
You know, on the right side.
Sniffing on the right side. We'll get up under the left side, man. That stinks all around.
We started to sniff around and immediately.
Sorry. I don't know what he's sniffing. He's sniffing. We know that about him. You go up to her and you sniff, and you keep sniffing, and you go, is that Shalimar you're wearing?
Immediately, the gates are closed to the White House. And
Well, that's what it smells like. Anyway, it smells like smells like somebody's gates are wide open.
they say this is, and I want to quote them here.
This story is not true.
The reports on a possible ban are way off. Do you
person making
believe that? I mean,
The person making that
Go ahead.
statement is
It's Glenn Beck's version of The Stranger, sniffing around the right side. Yeah, basically you have to sleep on your face so your nose goes numb. So it's like you're being sniffed by a stranger. Is that what it is?
either woefully uninformed of the facts
They're woefully uninformed of our conspiratorial freakout, and as a lobbying arm of gun sales, everybody goes after the NRA. I'm here to tell you this prick and this group, the NSSFFSFFF, the sport guys who are trying to like dovetail heavy arms and heavy guns into the sporting world. Those guys are when they talk about how that's the gun lobby amongst the NRA. The NRA is just kind of a big, like aggregate for gun owners in the country. And like I said, most of the time, if you go to a lot of shooting ranges, if you sign up or you have an NRA card, you get, a discount. They subsidize these ranges and then they get membership dues and that kind of stuff. And it pays off over time. These are the guys who actually actively get AR-15s and shit like that sold in sporting goods stores.
because there was a meeting at the highest levels of the military on Friday to discuss this very issue, or they are not being truthful.
Or you're not being truthful. I would also throw that out there. I was just going to say, might want to.
It did happen. It is happening.
It will happen, and it can happen. And it's happening. Can't you see it? I can see it. I can smell it. Sniff around, Glenn. Can you smell it? I smell it happening.
And there is a letter from 50 House members that has gone to the White House
So what?
yesterday, led by Congresswoman Vicky Hartzler, in whose district the Lake City facility is located.
Yeah, I mean, what kind of chance does she have to getting reelected if ammo isn't being dumped onto the streets of America?
And Senator Blunt's office from Missouri has been engaged in this issue as well. So, in 2015, the Obama administration tried to ban this ammunition under this incorrect legal theory that it was somehow armor-piercing ammunition. It is not, by definition, armor-piercing ammunition.
Not by definition. It does. It doesn't pierce the armor on, say, a tank. Body armor, yeah, but fuck cops, right? Is that the idea, Glenn?
Ammunition.
It does pierce cops' necks a lot. That and their rib cages. Oftentimes it will strike their arm and go even follow the bone up into their abdomen and their chest cavity, causing them to bleed out. It does do that, It bounces around really well. I mean, it's anti-personnel rounds. That's what they're for. It's people killers. That's what they're for. It's not deer rounds. It's not dog rounds. It's not feral hog rounds. They're rounds for killing people. Lots of them.
Okay, hold on just a second, because that's really important, because I just read another story today that said that this is armor-piercing ammunition. Now, you say by definition it's not.
Right. Because it doesn't pierce armor-plated vehicles, but it pierces body armor, and therefore...
What does that mean?
Yeah, what does that mean? Tell them, Larry.
Go look up the Gun Control Act, Section 921, and you can find the definition for armor-piercing ammunition. And if you look at this...
Yes, the Gun Control Act of 1946. Sorry, the most recent was 1968. 1968. We had all the same guns then we had now. You could buy an M16 on the street.
M855 green tip ammunition. It does not meet the definition of armor-piercing ammunition.
That's because in that act, what they meant by armor was vehicles.
It is not by law armor-piercing ammunition.
It's not by law. By the way, we would have updated that a long time ago in just the normal recognition that time passes, technology gains strength, and other applications or other definitions matter legally, that body armor and armor on a vehicle are two different things. And when they were talking about it in 1968, they weren't talking about body armor, because go back and watch a cop program in 1968. Was anybody wearing body armor? No, it wasn't a fucking option. So when they talked about armor, they were talking about that it could go through a cop car door, kill a cop inside, certainly the glass. But the idea is that you couldn't have stuff that was used in a war zone, which was meant for piercing the armor of a vehicle. This guy knows this, fuck him.
So the Obama administration's effort in 2015 to somehow declare it armor-piercing ammunition,
right, because it pierces body armor,
was withdrawn when there was a reaction by Congress.
A reaction by Congress. What are you looking at, Glenn? What do you think? You just noticed which shot we were on? I just want somebody to like sneak in and sit behind. Like, can I? Like, I wish I had the capability of, let's see, to like shrink myself down. Whoops, hold on. Get back up here. Like, put myself on the couch. Hi, Glenn. Hello, Glenn. Glenn, don't look behind you, Glenn. Don't be afraid.
And there were over 300,000 comments,
Glenn. Psst, Glenn.
public comments to a notice that ATF had put out. They backed off.
Well, of course you have to back off. I'm not backing off you, Glenn. I'm here. I'm here, Glenn. Can you see me? Glenn. Psst, over here.
Able to make it illegal. The Biden administration now is trying to make it unavailable.
That's right. Unavailable, like you are, Glenn. No one can have you. No one but me, Glenn. It's just me here.
And this is all because they can't pass.
I'm sniffing you, Glenn, and it's terrible. You smell like Sonic farts. This is terrible. The whole place does. This couch smells like French fries. Even though no one's ever sat in it. I can't believe that Stu's farts are that powerful. Stu, we go to you live in the studio. Are you there? Yes, you are. There he is. Stu, are you there? He's not. Stu, answer me. Stop it, Glenn. This is terrible. Violent extreme. I'm downwind. This is terrible.
Ban on modern sporting rifles.
Modern sporting rifles. Yes. Not only is it a rifle, it also serves as a golf club. You can use it as a tennis racket. You can use it as a boat oar. As a matter of fact, it's basically a jet ski. If you get a big enough clip, you just stand on it and fire it into the water, and you can just ride that motherfucker all around the city. Psst, Glenn.
So if you can't
Larry,
ban the product, ban the ammunition.
Oh no, now I'm on Glenn's shoulder. Hi, Glenn. Do it, Glenn. Do it. You dirty beast. Listen to me, Glenn. This is your conscience speaking. We haven't talked in a long time. But I want to talk to you about your trips to Sonic.
Without burning any bridges here.
Well, and please, no one light a match. This is terrible. I can't be around Glenn. No one can light a match when Glenn's around.
Because I think it's very important that we know the truth, and I certainly don't want to cause any trouble.
No, you don't want to cause any trouble. Don't. And Glenn, I know the last thing you want to do is speculatively quote an article that's a speculation in and of itself that paints a picture of some sort of draconian evil plan by people who are not even close to doing what you're saying they're doing, but might result in crazy people who are concerned about this taking up arms and endangering their lives. You'd never want to do that, would you, Glenn? Would you?
How do we know your information is accurate? How?
What do you mean? How do you know? He's from the National Sports Shooting Federation. What more do you... He's a little icon in the corner of your screen. Look at him. He's right there. Look at his bald head. Listen to his easygoing Winnie Pooh-like voice. I can't do devil me because it's a whole different thing. I will... Yeah.
How do we know the White House is lying here?
Well... Hold on. No, I'm just going to make myself big again. This will be, hi, I'm way down here. Hello. All right. I'm the mayor of the Munchkin City in the county of the land of Oz. All right. Let me move myself back up. There we go. Okay, back. Sorry, I need to have another one. Yes.
We have had direct conversations with officials at Winchester, and
we've had direct conversations with officials at Winchester, and they told you what?
We have had conversations with staff from Senator Blunt and
staff from Senator Blunt, who is apparently like John Boehner, leaving government. He's going to step down and go into the marijuana business because he's got a name that's perfect for us.
Congressman Hartzler's office. So this is, in fact, happening.
No, it is, in fact, not. Oh, Bjorn, thank you so much, by the way. Alan, your wonderful chat. I'll be hitting the sack, so bid you farewell. Have a great day, my friends. Good night. Rest well, Bjorn. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you being here. And thanks, everybody, for the support, by the way. You're watching Hal Sparks Mega Worldwide. We're having a good time. And again, don't take this asshole seriously, or even this Larry Keane fellow. Both of them are fapping. This is, even the people who want to believe this stuff are like, well, I mean, it's not. I got to check this article out. And then you're like, oh, considering, yeah, fuck you. None of the people that listen to Glenn Beck enjoy reading enough to get past the third paragraph bullshit where they're like, actually, it's not as bad as we said, but.
And they may have decided they've been caught with their hand in the.
Glenn's doing a little bit of. He's like caught with their hand in the cookie jar. Meanwhile, Glenn is actively reaching for a cookie.
Proverbial cookie jar.
He's like, puts the cookie back. It's like Glenn. He's there. We've actually caught the government in the process of reaching in the cookie. Really? That's terrible. The cookie jar.
But for them to say it was never...
He's literally cleaning crumbs off his desk.
Never under consideration. Again, either the person making that statement is woefully uninformed.
Of what? Your talking points or the lies you're trying to spread, Larry?
Of the true facts, or is misleading the public.
Well, that's your job, Larry. Sorry, Lawrence. I know you don't like to be called Larry anymore. You're all grown up and you're no longer a child actor, Larry.
Another way of saying that is lying. The White House is...
Yeah, no. Glenn, you're the one who's actually lying. We've seen the article. We looked at it. We pulled it up. I looked at the actual facility. It is one of 4. It's not even the primary one that sells the overage. It seems, according to Winchester's own website, that the Oxford, Mississippi plant provides more private ammunition than the Missouri one. It sounds like they're just ordering less because this place is overproducing and pocketing the money. It sounds like graft, quite frankly. It sounds like these assholes are using the government-funded facilities, the government-funded factory and mechanics and workers of this place to overproduce on purpose so they can make money on the back end. I mean, honestly, this sounds much closer to the stories that Philip Bittner and I talk about in China, in Russia and China. Yeah, it's not a Fig Newton. It's I had it on my desk. It's the fig bars, the Nature's Bakery fig bars. Those are lovely. I fell in love with them. Craft service will often have them, and it's one of the few things I can eat with good conscience on a craft service table.
About many things, they continue.
I don't know what the fingerless gloves thing. I think it's just that boogers get caught on the ends of the gloves, and he just had somebody cut them off.
To say things are conspiracy theories or they're...
You're a liar. You're Glenn. You're lying. He's lying. You're both full of shit. This is garbage. even if they do draw it down, you're again clamoring for socialism. It's really weird. Why don't you just go back to what you normally do, which is yelling for the government to nationalize the oil industry? Seriously. And I'm the commie. I'm the communist. Because I want a public option and I voted for Joe Biden. And I think we should have common sense gun reform. I'm the communist. Meanwhile, these dickheads want government funded bullets, government subsidized bullets, and nationalizing the oil.
Or inaccurate. And then all of a sudden, what do you know?
You've moved on. You're no longer talking about it. And it was always bullshit to start with. And you never go back and cover the stuff that you were lying about in the first place.
Turns out to be true. Has this stopped? Do you know? Is the pressure off of Winchester? Is this
the pressure from who? Their employer? Their primary contractor? Their boss? I'm sorry, Glenn. Ask Stu. The pressure from the boss is never off.
Not going through now that they've been nabbed?
Now that they've been nabbed.
We have not been informed that this
Really? They're not calling you, Larry? I would think.
Has definitively been withdrawn and is no longer being considered.
He's like, he put the mute on. He's like, can you get me some more cookies? I can't eat these crumbs. They're bad for you. I read someplace that it's only good for you if you eat a whole cookie. If you eat a whole cookie, it's not fattening. But if you lick the crumbs off the table, it goes right to your midsection. I read that somewhere in the Federalist.
But this,
look at him. He's just chit-chatting. Who the fuck? Larry, he's not listening to you.
This is
Neither am I.
Not the first time we've seen an effort by.
Look, it's like, get around here. Go over there. Don't walk through the back. It fucks with my motif. Who the hell is he yelling at? He's pissed too. Look at him. Whoever showed up, he wasn't happy about it. I'm going with family member.
First Obama, now Biden.
Look at that. He's just like, ugh.
Ban this ammunition and to make it unavailable. So we are going to continue to pursue this issue to ensure that,
as a lobbying arm of the Sports Rifle Association and gun manufacturers and ammunition manufacturers and gun ranges all over the place, because sports shooting is really the purview of ranges. And that's a lot of money in certain parts of the country. And if the price goes up, fewer people will go just to dick around. They might actually go there and do what you're supposed to do at a range, which is practice your use of a deadly weapon for the unfortunate time in your life when you may actually need it, instead of just going, oh man, listen to the sound of that fucker.
This is not no longer a recurring problem, and that whoever holds the contract for the Lake City facility,
the government, has the right to sell this excess ammunition into the commercial market. No. The fact that there is any excess ammunition is in and of itself an artificial stimulus on the market. This is commie bullshit, and I will not stand for it. Who's Stu? Stu is Glenn Beck's stunt co-host. He doesn't actually get to participate much. He mostly just fills in when Glenn has a brain fart, but he's in the studio. I don't know why they're not cutting. They usually do, even if just to show the fact that Glenn is not in the studio.
Because again, it's necessary for military preparedness.
Yeah, we're covered. They got 3 whole other factories that aren't slowing down anytime soon, and it overproduces by 30%. Do you understand how much the U.S. government overbuys for shit like this, for emergencies, because that's what sensible people do?
It's important for the taxpayer, and it helps to. Why
is it important for the taxpayer? These loose rounds all over the place drive up everyone's costs. I mean, it's a boon for funeral parlors, sure. Anybody who specializes in small coffins appreciates it, Larry.
To fund capital expenditures.
Capital expenditures, Jesus Christ. The 300 jobs. I'll tell you what. If this place employs more people that are going to get laid off in this process over the course of a couple of years than we've had mass shootings in the last 60 days, we'll talk.
At the facility. And it's important, obviously.
And
Capital expenditures. Yeah, what happens if if there's a financial collapse in Independence, Missouri? Well, I mean, obviously most of the Midwestern economy hinges on Independence, Missouri.
For Second Amendment rights to be exercised.
exactly right.
No, not exactly right. When I was a kid, my dad and I made musket balls in a press from lead. Okay, when I was growing up, I have a Herschel House muzzleloader. I've had one since I was a little kid. My son has one. My dad has several traditional shotguns that are flintlock or cap percussion. They're called shotguns. They're single use, single load, or double barrel for the percussion shot guns. And we have a double barreled muzzle loader too, which is a rarity. The accuracy is lower, obviously, but it just shoots a ball instead of shot. Let me tell you, that's plenty. A lot of times, that's plenty. Especially if you live out in the sticks. You got two of them. You got one, pa-pow, set it down. Somebody reloads it, and then you aim the other one and hold. And anybody moves, they get that one, and you set that down, and you get the other one because somebody's constantly filling and going. Honestly, yeah, it puts a little hole in the front of you and a big hole out the back. And that is an exercise of the Second Amendment. It is not interfered with at all by the government. You can get access to black powder. You can get access to wadding. You just need some cloth. And you can make your own balls for that. You can make your own shot. There's no limit on that. There really isn't. The government's never going to limit that. Ever. Not ever, not once. Same thing with muzzle loading pistols. Stu got fingered. Is that what happened to the gloves? Is that what we think? Yeah, make your own balls. Absolutely. It's true. You make your own musket balls. My dad has this clamp. You pour the lead into it, bang it, and then you open it up, and the ball drops into water, and it's just a lead ball, just in that. And that's how you make them. And then you load them. You keep them in a little pouch. Wash your hands. It's lead. Don't mess around with it. But the idea that you can't get military grade 5.56 for your fuck around rifle is going to limit your availability to defend yourself in any kind of circumstance is insane. Unless you're a gun runner, a predator or a human trafficker or working for a cartel, you don't need 2 magazines full. And if you need a hunting license to kill feral hogs and you need an AR-15 to do it, why would you hide that from the government? I mean, you could probably write it off on your agricultural expenditures.
Exactly right.
Get a tax break for your AR-15 if you have feral hogs and you could prove it. Knock yourself out. But if you live in the suburbs and you're going to sell me this feral hog horse shit.
Larry, is there anything the public can do?
Yes, the public can save money by not owning guns. Buy yourself a giant Rambo knife, or better yet, make it yourself out of a railroad tie. Get, just beat the thing flat, sharpen it, and then just wait.
Contact their elected representatives in Washington.
Because Glenn tells you all the time how trustworthy they are.
Congressmen and their representatives, and insist that this issue be fixed once and for all. So,
what do you mean this issue be fixed once and for all? What issue? That military contracts should only purchase the needs of the military itself? Tell you what, asshole, when they start making 30% more tanks than they need and selling them on Ford dealerships, or I can buy an F-14 because they just got one laying around, then we'll start talking about why you need 30% of 556 dumped on the fucking populace. Let's understand, though, that at the base of this whole argument, both of these assholes are asking for a government subsidy of anti-personnel ammo. That's what they want. They want the government to artificially deflate the price of the ammunition they want to use to shred their fellow man. Because because death is too expensive.
So we don't have to revisit this every couple of
That happens, Hal. I saw Top Gun Maverick. They leave F-14s lying around. Well, they do in Magic Stand, wherever they were shooting that nuclear reactor, which we're to assume was a mock-up of the Israeli attack on the Iranian site. Basically, it was a version of that storyline. And that F-14, but the idea is that this country had 5th-gen fighters, which made it Russia, essentially, or Iran with Russia's help. But the F-14s were just sitting there idle. Yeah, gassed up, but
years.
And how do we fix it once and for all?
Yeah, how do we fix it? What does fixing it once and for all mean? Well, you could learn how to fence. I would go with that. I think we should return to the days where men carried around a fencing sword. No sabers. That's cheating. And because you got to aim. And, gentlemen, if they get into a disagreement, can slap each other with gloves, but that's the end of it. Then you go the fuck outside, clear of everybody else, and start poking each other. What?
For all.
We make it clear in statute that whoever holds that contract has the right to sell this excess ammunition in the commercial market for the reasons we've just talked about.
Yeah, here and then the government will just not order any excess ammunition. Or declare that any excess ammunition is bought at a premium by the government, since they literally paid for all the machinery and all the jobs and all the mechanics and the facility and the fact that it doesn't pay fucking taxes.
Okay.
I have a giant Rambo knife too. I have at one point I was going to collect all of them. I haven't got the newest one yet.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for protecting us all from the hordes of feral hogs and you know what we're talking about. Of course, feral inner city hogs and feral foreign hogs coming across, because there's a hog caravan. I don't know if you've seen this. I read this. I don't know if I read it, but I must have read it. I think I read it somewhere. There's a feral hog caravan that's coming up from Central America. And we are going to be invaded by pork. And the government is limiting the sale of barbecue sauce to Americans. And if they reach Kansas City, people will be defenseless.
Well, Larry, I appreciate it. I appreciate everything that you guys are doing, keeping our Second Amendment right safe.
He's a sport shooter, fucko. He's not fighting tyranny. It's like, technically speaking, he is doing as much for your Second Amendment rights as Top Golf.
Thank you. Appreciate it. We'll stay in touch. That's Larry King. He's from the National.
Larry King. Oh, I thought Larry King. On his way out the door. Just when you thought this wasn't just enough of a bullshit story. Larry Keane. Keane is the man's name. A dear friend of Glenn Beck's. Always great to have you on. Larry Keane.
Thank you.
Larry.
Appreciate it. We'll stay in touch. That's Larry King. He's from
Larry King. That's what I like about Glenn, is he's very detail oriented. Jesus Christ. Yes, the real Larry King is dead. Apparently Glenn thinks he's being haunted.
Larry from Rochester, hello. Larry from the National Shooting Sports Foundation, hello. He's back, Larry King. Fucking asshole. I mean, right at the tail end. Like, there's like so many things wrong in this whole clip. It's like, what can we do? How can we stop this? How can we set it right? And then on your way out the fucking door.
Thank you. Appreciate it. We'll stay in touch. That's Larry King. He's from the National Shooting Sports Foundation.
Larry King. All right. Well, there you go. It's literally, he's got notes in front of him. The video is up on a monitor in front of him. He's been staring at this thing the whole time. They looked up this asshole on this Federalist Society article to get him on the show. Larry King. Son of a bitch. Oh, God. Larry from Pew Pew. Hello. I'm not tired. That's funny. That's very funny. The whole show.
We'll stay in touch. That's Larry King. He's from the National Shooting Sports Foundation.
I mean, come on.
About the Missouri ammunition plant that the Biden administration is trying to curtail, which would...
Oh, God. A vicious curtailing. My God. What will stop the great curtailing of 2022? Perhaps our only hope is the ghost of Larry King. He absolutely did say Larry King. He did not. He did not say. Oh God.
Cut off a third to 40%
of the socialist ammo in America. The government supply. By the way, Larry King and Glenn Burke don't think the government can do anything right except make ammo, which they want to buy on the cheap because the government artificially floods the market with extra bullets.
Of the 223 and 556 ammunition, which is the ammunition used by modern sporting rifles.
Modern sporting rifles, get us out of here. Pow. And then play that, like, what's his walkout song?
I find this...
Oh, okay. That's Stu, by the way. Someone was asking earlier, Glenn Black. Somebody was asking earlier, who's Stu? That's Stu. Stu is in studio. Stu studio. Sorry. Stu looks very mad. Stu looks like he was just woken up and he was wearing teensy-tiny skiing goggles up till a second ago. Did he just take off his glasses or was he wearing the tight little weird glasses? See what I mean? Look at his face. Is it weird? Like, all right, never mind. He just took his glasses off because he wasn't expected for him to call on him, apparently. And he was napping with his glasses on, his face against the microphone. Just so let's see how. I guess they're gonna do a little epilogue of his conversation with Larry King.
A story that's coming out of Missouri to be really
Missouri
insidious.
The story is insidious. Well, that's true because it's a lie. It's bullshit, and even if it was true, it's none of your goddamn business, and who cares?
Again, the president said yesterday, he was talking about gun control, and he said there's many ways to skin a cat. And believe me, they're going to use every way to skin a cat.
One of them is to remove the... let's see, how would you analogize this? Take all the pre-skinned cats away so that it doesn't distract you from the actual skinning of the cat. No, that didn't work.
Here's the one thing
that Glenn understands more than anything else.
That the Democrats are very good at.
Mm-hmm. We're very good at confusing Glenn Beck.
That the Republicans suck at.
Oh, humanity. No. Interpersonal skills. Getting laid. Let's see. Not accidentally using racial epithets. No.
And that is while they're not in power, they are making plans.
Yes, we're like the CCP of what?
And the plans that were being laid before Biden won the White House, and we know because we reported, they were open about it, and we reported on it.
Mm-hmm.
They had
I'm glad you're admitting that he won, though. There you go.
committees.
Does Glenn have monkeypox? Oh, my fucking God, that would be hilarious. I don't wish it on him, but if he's wearing gloves to cover the fact that he's got monkeypox, considering the stories of how it's being spread, I think there was a show mutiny, and that's why they put him out in the barn.
Getting together to find out, to look at all of the cabinet positions and to see what instruments they had or could be construed as having that they could turn those levels and change the way of our life without going to Congress.
Yeah, and the way of Glenn's life is largely determined by the number of government subsidies he can live off of while pretending to hate the government. So he benefits. He's got a solar and geothermal system on his house, which he gets a tax break from, and he bought an older system apparently, so he probably got it even on the cheap, and it was double subsidized. He buys his 5.56 and 2.23 ammunition via a plant that dumps that ammunition onto the market, artificially lowering the price, so any private makers of it that are not government related would not be able to compete at that price point. So basically, Glenn Beck is like, it's like I don't know if he's Bernie Sanders in sheep's clothing or a sheep wearing Bernie Sanders face as a mask like Hannibal Lecter. We'll figure it out.
This is one of them. And
yes, by not dumping taxpayer-funded military ammunition into the American market.
You know, if the White House wants us to believe that they're not doing this, here's
the idea. How about wait till they do it and then react? I mean, I get it. I mean, everybody, if you're on every day, I'm sure some people like you, Glenn, I never have this problem, but some people have a hard time filling the time. They have a hard time while they're on the air going, oh, what are we going to talk about today? Same shit as yesterday? I don't have that problem because you assholes are the gift that keeps on shitting. But in your case, I can understand how creating a new boogeyman and scaring everyone every day, it's got to be work. I mean, look how Russell Brand had to do a clip of Jimmy Dore on Tucker Carlson. Like these guys are human centipeding to create their fear farming bullshit. You must be running, quite dry story-wise. Now, the question is, let me look at this. Where are we? I just need to look. Where is it? Where is it? God damn it. Where'd that article go? I lost it. It was in here somewhere. Where's that Federalist article, man? Come on, everybody. Hold on. I'll reopen it. Federalist. Federalist, Missouri, ammo. Well, that'll do it. This is an article from 5 days ago. That's the one we were looking at before. That's what he was talking about. White House aims to shut down ammunition sales while Dems claim to engage in good faith gun talks. How dare they? Look at that. And then the next article that came up, the one before it was this one. This is the other one. This was 9 days ago. So they're basically hammering this. White House refuses to deny plans. We made up a story, and they won't answer. They won't pretend our story is real enough for us to freak out. This is the White House aims to shut down ammunition sales. Well, I mean, I think what they're trying to do is support capitalism and an open market by not dumping government ammunition onto the market. Hold on. Let's see if this is working. Where are you? Dunk. Where are you? There we go. Sorry. Hang on there a fucking minute, man.
Minuteman, that's a good job for me. I'd been a Minuteman during the Revolutionary War. Man, I love this country so much, I'd have been Paul Revere's horse. Listen here. I do live in a tiny little green box sometimes. It's good. But listen here. These fellas are worried about there not being enough ammunition. Buddy, let me tell you what. You get you a good scatter gun and enough black powder, it doesn't matter what the shit you pour down the end of that barrel, man. You can shove silverware down that stuff. I one time fought off an entire crowd of revenuers off my property just with using cut up pieces of electric fence and fork tines. Poured down the barrel of my scatter gun and kapow.
It's a bridge too far.
That's one of my favorite war movies, A Bridge Too Far. It's about a bridge that catches fire and burns to the ground, and the soldiers have to cross the river on each other's backs. It's a beautiful movie, full of patriotism and back tickling. It's wonderful.
Because you would have to ask yourself, if you're a progressive, why wouldn't you be doing this?
I think one of the reason a progressive wouldn't do this, them commie sons of bitches, is they probably like government making ammunition and dumping out there. Man, stopping the entrepreneurial gun ammo manufacturers, they ain't got a chance, man. You shooting all this fucking commie buckshot. How the good old American entrepreneur, my daddy used to hand make 40 Mike rounds in our shed, sold them on Etsy. He made it fine living. And for a long time, knitted him himself. You wanted a good 40 Mike, just for-pooey. You come on down there, man. He'd open his little case. He'd go door to door selling 9mm rounds he'd carved himself. It was he was the first in our family and the last to actually only skip school half the time and graduate somewhere else loudly from high school. And he had his homemade ammunition business put out of business by the government coming in there and building a big factory and shoving him out of the way. He never had a chance with that big. He tried to catch up. He would sit in that barn. He was working faster and faster and faster and faster, and he gets sucking back that kickapoo joy juice and blazing a trail of that stuff he bought from George W. Bush. Used to do these little flights to Colombia. Never mind. Anyways, he met him at a bar. Bailed him out once under the table. They were friends. Anyways, but he could work no matter how hard he worked. He could never catch up with that gigantic government plant. And they made so many bullets, they didn't know what to do with them. Sometimes, he went to jail, my daddy. He went to jail for stealing bullets. He was dumpster diving at an ammo plant. He's like, nobody's using these things. It's garbage. They ain't even using them. He's scooping them up in his arms, just putting them in buckets, running around selling them at ranges. He was just trying to make a fine American dollar, but the government revenuers wouldn't let him. They said that's government property even when it's in the garbage all the way to the landfill. So they moved my daddy out. They put him in jail. Hard labor. 25 years. Working with a pickaxe in the sweaty sun on a landfill. One time, came down on a 40 Mike round. They buried there and boom, my daddy was gone. The irony. Killed by a communist 40 Mike. So don't you tell me that some commie progressive wouldn't want some sort of government facility cranking out bullets all the goddamn time, keeping the bullets artificially cheap so people like my daddy couldn't make a living. You don't know what pain is till you're trying to feed your family and your habit, and you plant a bullet tree in the yard, and it never blossoms. Never blossoms.
This is what ESG is all about.
I thought you, I'm sorry, ESG. I thought you said ELO. I don't, that music's too complicated for man. Although I do like that. Evil woman. Bring it down. Reminds me of my ancestor.
Why wouldn't you be shutting down the things?
The government plants. I don't know why a communist wouldn't want to shut down a government plant. Please explain to me why government contracted things would not be, that are controlled by the government, wouldn't be something that progressives like. Glenn, please explain to me.
The
spit it out, fuckhead.
all of the funding
Yeah, comes from the government.
to things that affect global warming or things that help guns.
Things that help guns. Things that help guns. Never really thought about it that way. Things that help guns. Straps, that keeps them from falling, getting broke. A good conceal carry, a good holster, leather, maybe nylon, smooth, doesn't scratch it up. That helps guns. What else helps guns? Oil, a nice ramrod.
On the street. Of course.
Helps guns on the street. Well, I mean, we don't want them on the street. We want them to have a fine job like every other American.
Of course you would. If that's the way you're operating through an administrative arm, why wouldn't you be doing it?
Like I said, man, it's a government plant. I think your whole point is you're saying progressives want big government. That's big as you fucking get, man. If they making all the bullets, hey, asshole, why are you buying government bullets? If there's a big plot to stop your ability to shoot, how do you know those 30 rounds aren't they? Have you checked to make sure the bullet's not in the case backwards? Might blow your dick off.
Of course they're doing it.
Yeah.
Of course. Of course. Assertion is the same as evidence. Just say it, man.
Of course they are. And it's
Of course they are. If you don't believe me, ask Stu. He's a man of healthy choices.
very, very dangerous.
By the way, Glenn, I know you're sick. Did you make Stu sick too, or did he get stung by a bee under his left eye? Is he wearing makeup to cover it up? What's happening here?
There was an interview with Chris Murphy, the guy who's negotiating the bipartisan gun control bill.
Right.
And
you mean them regulations they want to put on guns so that wackos and kids can't get their hands on murder weapons, that kind of stuff? Sounds nuts to me. I don't even know.
it was with the New York Times. So it was, arguing. The Times was basically saying, like, well, you're not getting enough here. You're not getting enough here. You need to get more. And
he shot him. Did he shoot him? He should have shot him. Did he shot him? I just whipped him out and go, hey, don't you question me. Right there, just raise it up. Go, hold it. I got you. I made this one myself. Simmer down. Ooh, good Lord. Glenn, you are not going to want to sniff around that one.
his position was, look, what we need to do is pass this.
Yep.
Even if it's
basically legislation is like a kidney stone. Just pass it, man. Just pass it. Just grab a hold of the sink, squeeze real tight, grimace a bunch, start sweating, but pass the damn thing.
it's not the best bill in the world, because
Oh, man. They ain't ever going to pass the best bill in the world, because I wrote it, and I just don't even think they're taking it seriously. I think they stop at the part of, like, all roads are made out of oiled up boobies, and nobody has a car anymore. You just slip and slide your way on, and so you enjoy the trip as much as you're arriving. And they just, I don't know why. I mean, that would be the best bill ever. Come on. Who doesn't like it? Come on.
goal of this is not just, to save lives,
No, of course not.
but it's also to convince Republicans that the sky won't fall on them politically if
they save lives. Nah, that's bullshit. That's crazy.
thing passes.
We just need to show them that if they go along with some of
Oh, that's what he got. Flying monkey pink eye pox. Is that what y'all are thinking? He's got pink eye, and Glenn's got monkey pox. Well, here's what I want to know. Glenn's obviously covering some sort of skin issue with his hands, and there's something wrong with Stu's eye. What kind of mud wrestling were they up to? I mean, I don't need to know. I don't really want to know, but I kind of have to know.
this. They're not going to get punished like they think they will. They're always
Thanks for cutting away while Glenn had a snack
scared of the sky
and apparently a nap.
falling. We need to show them that the sky won't fall.
Yeah, because 68% of Americans support basic protections because we live in a civil society, and a lot of us, I know not you guys, feel like we'd like to go to the grocery store without getting our fucking head blown off, because when we get home with the food, we're going to get a little loving. You know what I mean? We got dreams. We got hopes. We want to go see, damn Yankees if they ever get back together again. We want to go to the state fair and have an elephant ear without having to worry about getting our ear blown off by some fuckhead who's like, this is the cheapest ammo I ever found.
So it really is up to us to make sure, if something like this passes, to remind the Republicans that
it may be popular with the majority of Americans, but as a elected representative of a constituency, they should fear a vocal and psychotic minority.
yes, the sky will.
Can you take me high enough to fly me over yesterday?
Fall if you do something like this. It will. And we need to make sure it does.
Yeah, you need to make them afraid that if they vote in a way that gets them reelected, they're never going to get elected again. Okay? Let them know.
Besides Cornyn, who?
Hey, man, you lost me at Cornyn. Look, we start Cornyn, everything else goes out the window.
Who is? I mean, because the phone should light up at Senator Cornyn's office.
Oh, yeah, they are. Don't worry. I mean,
if you're in Texas.
Yeah, if you're not in Texas, don't light up his phone, man. That's like carpet bagging phones. You might as well be trying to sell him insurance or encyclopedias.
Can you get me the names of all of the people that are in?
Yeah, can you do my work for me? I know I said at the beginning we did our homework, but what I really mean is Stu looks up shit when I tell him to, even though I'm completely surrounded with more computers than man should deserve. It looks like I'm trying to land the Apollo mission on the fucking planet, and yet I still don't want to push anything because my fingers be nasty.
Involved in this on the Republican side, because the sky needs to fall in on them right now.
Yeah.
The sky needs to fall in on them right now. Well, I would think that would be the purview of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, sir. Okay? God controls the weather. That's why we know climate change is bullshit, because God makes the sky and God don't make no junk. Right? So the idea that the sky's going to fall in him because Glenn Beck makes some fucking phone calls ain't going to happen. Secondly, you're not going to do any of that calling. You're just trying to make other people call, and my phone's been turned off.
Needs to fall in.
4 of them.
The sky needs to fall in on them right now. Down, in, and on, and in on them. Are they laying? I'm trying to picture this. Are they laying face up or down?
I think are retiring. The other 6 are not up for election this year.
What cowards?
But
yes, these cowards that are doing something that you are threatening them over.
What cowards?
And
these cowardly people. Yes, I would agree, man. I think these dudes who are quitting are fucking cowards. They're only going to do it on their way out the door. You only do the right thing when you're going to leave. It's like, look, it is always right to fart in the elevator. Pressure changes as you're going up. Sometimes it shifts, man. It's like when you're peeing. One area lets off pressure, opens an area where I used to work at a water treatment plant. This dude explained this to me right before the explosion. And but when you're going up in an elevator, it's like being in an airplane. You know how your ears go funky? In an elevator, it's your colon. So as you go higher, the little bit of pressure that's gonna make that come out. It's a totally natural thing, y'all. It's totally natural. and a coward holds it in until they're getting off the elevator. You just let it fly, man. That frees everybody else up to fart in the elevator.
Honestly, I would trade 9 of these senators for 1 toasted cheddar chalupa from.
Well, that's true of any human being on Earth, Stu. Holy shit, man. I basically think that's your exchange rate for human life at this point. No, that sounds like something I'd say about you. Stu looks like the kind of guy who would trade 9 human lives for 1 cheddar chalupa. You know what I mean? And right? Yeah, yes. That's not shocking, Stu. That is what we would call a defining characteristic
From Taco Bell.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks for clarifying from Taco Bell.
Only one who has any value in the group of 10 is Pat Toomey, who has always been a pretty good senator with one exception, which has been guns. Other than that, he's been pretty good.
Yeah, it's weird. He's got this fucked up thing about kids dying in his district or whatever. He thinks he's going to be in office long enough for them to be old enough to vote. We all know that ain't true.
But the other 9 are
Yeah, the other 9 I would either trade in for fast food, which is true of everything. I mean, if I was a member of Stu's family, I would be like, why am I in a dumpster outside of Taco Bell, and where is he driving to with that cheddar chalupa?
Garbage.
And look, we both said garbage at the same time. It's like, you know what, Stu? It's like we're simpatico. It's like we're both the same man, but somebody, let the air out of you, and that's what I look like.
I think you're asking too much to trade all of those
one
senators.
chalupa?
No, I don't.
Well, yeah, Stu, you can't eat just one. I mean, everyone else on Earth can. You can't, okay?
I don't think so. Stop being unreasonable. We're negotiating here.
It's adorable. I like, hey, man, what the best thing about those guys is nobody screams, Mountain Dew in their baby bottle like Stu. You know what I mean? Like, if you look at the two of these guys and you're like, can you show me a case study? Because we was all warned about crack babies for a long time, but nobody warned about the Mountain Dew babies. I, myself, am one, but I'm what you would call on the opposite end of the physical spectrum. I am strategically wasting away in the true history of Appalachian porch dwellers who play the banjo, whereas these fellers are plumping up. These are the fat cattles, and this is a section of the Southern gentleman that has decided to keep consuming cheddar chalupas from Taco Bell until such time as they can pass for a giant ostrich egg with hair on it. Yeah, Appalachia rules you damn straight. I mean, we don't rule anything important, but, it's a nice thing to yell at NASCAR. Show me your butthole. Come on now. You're watching Hal Sparks Mega Worldwide. We don't normally have this much fun, but it's fairly hilarious, and I'm way over time. It's 6:00. Like, I went way long today. That was too much fun, and I've got 2 other whole clips, and I got to go round up dinner. I got a half hour to make dinner now. I got to figure out what I'm feeding these people and get cooking. So I will leave you guys. Thank you so much for being with me. And that was a lot of fun. I appreciate you guys joining me. Thank you for the support. Thanks for everybody who subscribed. If you like the show and you like what I do here, there's a multitude of ways you can support the show. Patreon.com/HalSparks.